Welcome to Ortho Insider, the podcast that goes behind the scenes of orthopedics in Canada. We want to thank Sanofi for sponsoring the Canadian Orthopaedic Care Day episode that we're doing today. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Bruny Surin. He is somebody that I grew up watching as he represented Canada as a track and field star at the Olympics and winning gold medal in the 4x100 sprint at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. He is still the Canadian record holder for the 100-meter dash. Since then, he has been honored as a recipient of the Order of Canada, the Order of Quebec, as well as being the chef de mission of the 2024 Paris Olympics. He has become a successful entrepreneur as the head of the Surin Group, where you use your skills to develop teams and leaders, as well as Surin Clothing. And you've also created the Surin Foundation that ensures that impoverished youth have their basic needs met so that they can progress through their schooling with equal opportunities. Thank you so much, Bruny Surin, for being here today. It's very exciting.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
So our first question we kind of ask is, what's your origin story? So you were born in Haiti.
Yes.
You moved to Quebec.
Yeah.
So what is the origins of you becoming both Bruny Surin, the sprinter, as well as Bruny Surin, the entrepreneur, the leader, and the coach?
Well, when I look at that, it's a very long journey. I mean, yes, you were talking about, yes, I was born in 80. And I remember it's only at 7 years old, my dad actually came to Canada with my mom, and we stayed in 80 in the house with my aunt, my uncle, and my grandparents. So after 1 year, my dad came back and he brought myself and my two sisters to Canada. And matter of fact, we came in the winter time.
No way. First time.
Winter time.
Winter.
January 5th, 1975. And I was like, oh my God, why my dad bringing me in this cold country? I mean, I don't like this and everything. But the reason was to have a better opportunity.
Yes.
And that's what my mom told me.
Yeah.
One of the first things that she told me after 1 year I didn't see her, and I mean, we were excited and everything. And she told us, and it still resonate here, she said here, as a province, as a country, she said here, you have all the opportunity.
Amazing.
It's up to you to go seize them, and in life there's no shortcut. So
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you're gonna do, don't cheat. Otherwise, sooner or later, it's gonna get back to you. So that's why I still have here, Yeah.
How did that make you feel hearing that from your parents, and now we've moved here, we've uprooted our lives, and you have all the opportunities? Was it stressful and a lot of pressure applied, or did it feel empowering that you could actually have that opportunity now?
It was empowering.
Yeah.
It was empowering. That's why I said, I mean, today I'm doing a lot of speaking engagement and everything, and I said to parents, it's very important what you tell your kids, because sometimes it can be like, yes, on my situation, it was all positive. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm Superman. I mean, I have all the opportunity. I'm gonna go.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go just seize them. I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna succeed.
Yeah.
But sometimes, unfortunately, and sometimes also it's from the parent. It's not because that they don't want the kids to succeed and everything. Sometimes the parents are scared.
Yeah.
Sometimes the parents they want to protect the kids because sometimes the kids has big aspirations. They have big dreams. And as parents, sometimes you're like, oh, listen, kid, just relax,
Interesting.
But me, I'm telling you, just let them dream. I mean, to me, my mom, that's why she made me think. My mindset was like, whatever I'm gonna do, I mean, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, that's such a wonderful thing to instill into kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My slogan today is go get it.
Amazing. And so
I don't want to hear no but. There's no
amazing. That's awesome.
There's no but. Just go for it. Go get it.
And we'll come back to this later, but I'm sure that has a lot to do with your foundation, because that seems to be the same messaging, giving kids the opportunity that they need to go get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, not many people know this, but you started off as a long jumper.
Yes.
And so tell us, again, in terms of the origin story, how did that transition from, even getting in track and field in the beginning, and then transitioning from that, long jump into a completely different discipline in which then you excelled at?
Yeah, because at first I get recruited by a coach. He wasn't a national coach, and because in high school I was like 12, 13 years old, and I won the triple jump.
Oh, interesting.
And but sprinting, I wasn't the fastest.
Yeah, interesting.
So he came and he gave me his card. He said, "Oh, I'm on the national team and everything. I want to coach you."
Cool.
And I never called him. And yes, I never called him and everything. But every year, he came to see me.
Really?
At the competition.
So he's recruiting you.
He was recruiting me. But it's only after I watched the Olympic Games in 1984.
Oh, interesting.
And I saw Carl Lewis.
Yes.
And this is the time I'm like, okay, well, I want to be like him.
Amazing.
So I started by long jumping.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, my first Olympic, 1988, I was a long jumper.
Yeah, right. I read that.
I was a long jumper, but every time I was going to step up to jump, I had an injury, my ankle.
Oh, ankle. Interesting.
I finished 14, I believe, in 88. Okay. And after that, me and my first coach, and we just said the next season, the season after, we're going to focus in the 100 meters.
Cool. That's awesome.
And then I went to have my base. I went to live in Italy.
Yes.
Siena.
Yes.
So that's the time I start sprinting and everything.
That's
incredible. But at first it was like triple jumper and long jumper.
And what's that mindset that is required to change from an Olympian one sport to an Olympian in a completely different sport?
There's a lot of similarities between the sprinting and the long jumping. Yeah. The sprinting, you need to have, of course, speed.
Yes.
You need to be power.
Yeah.
And long jumping, you need to have speed because after that you want to jump as further as you want, and you need power. Yeah. So there was a lot of training similarities I was doing back and forth. Yeah. And then after that, it was just a matter of fact, just changing the program a little bit.
Interesting.
And specifically 100 meters. So that's why when I went to Italy, I had my program here with Daniel, my first coach. And then I had another coach in Italy, Franco Barucci.
Okay.
And we start competing the B races, not the top races in Europe and everything. I was trying to make my mark, you know?
Yes.
So I stayed in Italy for like 6-7 months. Yeah. And once I came back to Canada, guess what? Canadian Championship in Ottawa, 1989.
Yeah.
10-1-4. I won the Canadian Championship.
Amazing. That's incredible. So within a year?
Within a year of specific training. Yeah. But the thing also, it was great. But remember what happened in 1988, Canada, big scandal.
Oh, was that the doping?
Unfortunately, I'm not here to re-bring that anything. Yeah. But I want to talk about the timing.
Sure. Yes.
88 happened. Yeah. And now 1989. Yeah. You have this kid like nobody knows. From Montreal, right. Going to Italy to compete. Nobody knows him. And then he come to Canada, Canadian champion, beats everybody. And had this a lot of suspicious. And what were you doing in Italy?
That's right.
When I think about that, it was crazy. Yeah. I had no sponsors. I had no money. I had to say to people, I want to find a sponsor. Yeah. Not to pay my training and everything. I want to find a sponsor so that every week I want to get tested so I can prove to you guys, to prove to Canada that I'm clean. I had to do that because it's not normal. Yes. I come from long jump, to come from 10.6 to 10.1. But the people don't think about when I was running 10.6, when I was long jumping, I wasn't training specifically for the 100. I was training for the long jump, you see? Yeah, totally. So, but people only see results. They don't see the behind that. Yes. But that black cloud over my head stayed for like 4-5 years. Wow. It was tough.
And so, did that lead a lot to your mental resilience and toughness? I mean, tell us about that, because you teach and coach a lot of that now.
Yes. I was telling the reporter. I was saying that, well, it's not fair. I'm doing my thing, I'm trying, and now you guys still talking about doping and everything. Yeah. I'm winning races. You talk about doping. You make it sound like I'm doping and everything. But the thing is, at one point, what helped me a lot, it's I started working with a psychologist, sports psychologist, and that's the time he was telling me that I have no control about what people are talking about.
Right.
And I have no control about if an athlete want to cheat. Do I have control of that? He said no. And now my psychologist back then told me that, okay, he wants me to do this.
Nice.
I don't want to listen to everything.
That's right.
And I don't want to see, because sometimes I see athletes and you see them 2-3 months later.
Yeah. And they're massive.
Transformation.
Yeah.
And my said, stop that.
Interesting.
Focus on your lane.
Yeah.
And that's what helped me go through, because it was very, very painful to live that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
That seemed ahead of your time to speak to a psychologist. I know everyone does it now. Was it kind of a new thing back then, or is it?
It was kind of new.
Yeah.
And that's why also it was, it took me times
Yeah, right.
to start working with sports psychology.
Yeah.
And even though at that time I didn't say, oh yeah, I'm working with that. I'm okay, well, I'm working with that.
That's right.
Yeah, because at that time, it was like, yes, you were getting more and more athletes. And at the same time, it was like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Is there a big
Like,
stigma, right?
Stigma,
Yeah.
big stigma. It's
Yeah.
like, are you okay? You weak?
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
So, but me, I saw a big difference.
Yep.
It was like day and night.
Yeah.
So that's why after that, my career kept coming up because of that. It helped me a lot. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's really good to hear, because now it's like so well accepted. It's like if you don't have a sports psychologist, like what are you doing? Because like we'll talk about later. Like you always say that going to elite is like in here, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
In your mind.
Mindset, mental. It's all mental. It's all here.
It's all mental. Yeah, totally.
It's all the way you perceive it.
Totally.
Because there's a say who said that, well, if you think that you can't, you are right.
Yes.
And if you think that you can, you're also right.
That's right.
You know, so it's all the way how you perceive it.
Yes.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, amazing. With respect to the switch, though, people always think of, or at least I do, think of track and field as a very solo sport, right?
Yeah.
But to make this switch, you've already spoken about so many people, not to mention all the injuries that you had.
Yeah.
Tell us about this team that you had surrounding you, with respect to, medicine, psychology, everything.
I had, first of all, the coach. I had a physiotherapist. I had a person who's doing the massage, massage therapist. Of course, we're talking about the psychologist, strength coach.
Yeah, right.
And more when my career was growing, I had other people on the team. But to tell you the truth, that decision to make from long jumping to say, well, we're gonna flip.
Yeah.
It was just me at the Olympics. I remember, like, every time I was jumping, I was hurt and everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I finished the race, and I said to my mind, well, when I'm running, it doesn't hurt that bad.
Yeah.
And naturally, I went to my coach and said, well, listen, why don't we focus on the 100 meters the year after?
Makes sense.
And that was it.
That's crazy.
And sometimes that's why I said to people sometimes when in your career or whatever decision, I'm a guy, I don't want to say that I have all the answers and everything. Everybody do their thing, but sometimes when we have a go after or dream or goals and everything, it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Just go.
Just go.
I mean, to me, it was like, okay, well, this is the situation. I cannot jump, I'm hurting. Let's run.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Next thing you know, I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, you have a dream, you have a goal, and you think about it. You have doubt. 1 year, 2 years.
Right.
Just go.
Right.
You have to jump, and
Yes.
that's what I did. And my experience, and I went to live in that was north of Rome, a small village we call Siena, and north of Rome, or like I was saying. And sometimes when I look at it, it's like it was just a great experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it wasn't easy.
Yes.
It wasn't easy because I went to this condo, this house, and I was supposed to have a teammate. At the last minute, he accepted a scholarship in the States.
Yeah, right.
He went to the University of Nebraska.
Nice.
So I'm like, in Italy, I don't speak one word of Italy. And I'm living at this big house by myself.
Yes.
And the morning, I go down the hill, train. After training, go up. You have to make your lunch.
Yeah. So you make your lunch. There's no support for
there
that.
was nobody. You're on your own, man.
Literally, you're by yourself.
You're on your own. I have my manager there.
Oh wow!
But my manager's not gonna cook.
That's right. Yeah. You don't want to eat that.
He's trying to get me on the meal, but for the cooking and everything, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So have your lunch, rest, and the afternoon go to the main stadium, and then the night you spend your night alone.
Wow.
Watching TV, Italian, I don't understand nothing, and I don't have my friends there and everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I was just crying.
Yeah, no doubt. That is
tough.
Sounds incredibly difficult.
Because at that age, back home, I have friends who was always in my house, like party, weekend we go party and everything. Have a good life,
Totally. Yeah.
But now it's almost like I was in prison.
Yeah, right.
And then when I look at it, I said, well, that's the way I have to do to go succeed, to go reach my star.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy.
For sure.
But the decision through my career that I made, it's like a fast implementation.
That's incredible.
That I'm still hearing that today.
Yeah.
And I have a business coach, and all the time he's telling us, like, when we learn like new skills and everything, just implement it very fast.
Yeah.
Don't wait, like wasting time. Don't waste time. Just go.
100%. Yes,
So
exactly.
it's working.
Yeah, that's incredible. Sorry, just on that though, I mean, talk to me more about that mental resiliency and that mental toughness. You didn't speak Italian. This is the second time in your short, your young life, you have to move countries.
Yeah.
You don't have any friends there.
Yeah.
So how did you get through that? I mean, there's, you're training for something that is 4 years away.
Yeah.
So how do you, what are some attributes and what are some strategies that you can do to get through that?
I can say that after my mom who gave me that mindset and everything, I could say that the coach after that was my first coach, Daniel Saint-Hilaire. He's the one at 17 years old who was teaching me about visualization.
Yeah.
He was teaching me about, the way the brain works and stuff like that, and resilience. Yeah, you're gonna be stronger, and I learned from that.
Yeah.
And that time I was there in Italy and everything, I said, well, I'm suffering now. I'm suffering. It's tough, but you know what? The pleasure that I'm gonna have later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that sacrifice now.
Interesting.
Because later it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't want to do that.
Yes.
People don't want to make that sacrifice, that suffering and everything.
Totally.
But in any resilient, tough place that I was, I'm like, I'm gonna go through this, and later I'm gonna be even stronger.
Yeah.
So that's how my mindset was. People were laughing at me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I mean, that's crazy.
People were just laughing at me in my face.
Really?
Not behind my back.
That's in
Just
Italy?
like,
Everywhere.
I was trying to get in the competition.
I see.
And the athletes who were like stronger and everything, you look at this young kids, funny and everything.
Interesting.
I was trying to get in the meet, like, what are you doing there, loser and everything. Matter of fact, the biggest competition in Europe, still today, one of the biggest ones is Zurich.
Okay.
And I remember at one time, my first coach came to visit me in Italy, Daniel Saint-Hilaire.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, thank God I have somebody to speak in French.
That's right.
in Italy. So Daniel came to visit me. I think he stayed for like maybe 10 days, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I remember we talking about, like, man, it would be fun if we go to Zurich. My first thought was like, I'm not invited.
Yeah.
Zurich is like the top athletes over there. And he said, well, let's try.
Cool.
So we took the train, go to Zurich. And now I'm going to see the person who organizing the competition.
Right.
With no invitation. So going to his office, shows up, like we're talking now.
Yeah.
Mr. Brugger, Andreas Brugger,
is
is like 6'4", 6'5", huge.
Big guy. Yeah.
Everybody's scared of him.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared of him because he's so huge. He's like, look like mean, and he's one of the tough, like biggest, powerful guy in athletics
sports
at that time.
Yeah.
So hear me, and I have my small presentation. Say, well, can you find me a way to get to the competition? And I present him my
CV.
My CV.
Yeah.
And it's like, who invite you? Just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, please. And just basically just threw my, it's like, okay, well, take the door.
Really?
Yes.
That's wild.
The worst is like his office is near, it's in the lobby.
Yeah.
So when I go out of his office, all the top athletes are hanging out.
So
in
everyone
the lobby.
sees you.
Everybody sees me.
Oh, man.
And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
Yeah.
And now there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know how Switzerland is expensive?
Yes.
I have no sponsor.
Right.
I have no money.
Yeah.
I have no room.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do? Daniel, find your way. I'm gonna find my way and everything. And I went to knock on the door.
Wow.
And one of the athletes, it was an American athlete who said, okay, well, listen, well, come if you want. You can sleep on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So that's resilience.
That is.
And to me, my mindset is like, I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah.
So okay, it's fine. I'm gonna sleep on the floor. Let's go.
Yeah.
The next day, I swear,
I
want to see the same person, Andreas Berger.
Yeah.
If he can give me 2 tickets, because I want to see the top athletes. Okay, I'm a loser now. It's fine, but can you help me?
Yeah.
No time. So I watch the competition behind the stadium.
Oh my god.
You know the stadium, like you have the fences and everything, so you can go through the fence, you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's how I saw my idol, Carl Lewis.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Winning the 100 meters.
Yeah.
And guess what? I had a smile on my face.
Amazing. That's incredible.
I was visualizing.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, that's gonna be me.
Yeah. So
that's it.
So when we talk about visualization, because everything you're talking about now has like all this crazy body of evidence that supports it. Visualization. The kind of like that deferred gratification. Sacrifice, everything like that, right?
Yeah.
But when you're and actually, interestingly, orthopedic surgeons are also like, oh, you got to visualize, your cases, and you're going to go practice, simulators and things like that.
Yeah.
But when you're there, like watching Carl Lewis from the back of a stadium, did you see yourself standing on the podium with the gold medal around your neck?
Yes.
Like, is that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What I saw of Carl Lewis, I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be me. And years later, the same person that threw me that my CV and said, well, take the door, you don't have, you're not strong enough and everything. No, he was inviting me.
Ha! Take that, Andreas Berger.
He was inviting me.
That is
his team and everything.
Yes.
At that time, remember, the young people, they don't know what a fax is. But
That's right,
people in my generation, we know what fax is and everything.
That's right.
And when I received the fax at home, like that bzz, with the walls.
Totally.
And I'm like, oh my God, nice contract.
Oh.
And then I go to the airport going to Switzerland.
Wow.
First class.
Really? With a sponsor this time, or?
I had sponsor and everything. My career was going up. And then came back to the same hotel.
Yeah.
Same hotel.
Yeah.
Like where years before I slept on the floor.
Yeah.
I had my suite.
That is unreal. That is unreal.
It's all here.
That is.
It's all here.
Yeah.
It's
That's
all
like
here.
manifestation.
You know, the thing also sometimes I said to people, in any field that you are, it can be in athletics, can be a surgeon, it can be any. When you have an opportunity to help somebody, to take somebody's hands to try to raise, do it.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's gonna happen. Because 100%. At that time, I had people like trying to step on my head.
Totally.
To put me down.
Yeah.
But after that, not to put them down neither. It's like, I'm better ranking than you now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so how did all of that shape you? Because now with the Surin Foundation,
yes,
you believe in equality. You believe in everyone having those basic necessities met so that they can have these opportunities, not just in sports, but in scholastics and just life in general.
Yeah.
So, how did all that shape you moving forward, and what does that all mean to you now?
I started the Bruny Foundation because I see where I came from.
Yeah.
I mean, with nothing. And actually, when I was knocking on doors to try to get some money to help me in my sports career, and I remember there was the first person who helped me, gave me a check of $500. he owned a restaurant.
Right.
And then after that, kept working, and now the community helped me, and I had a great career. And after that, I was like, well, there's still young people, young students who are in the same situation that I was. And Bruny, what are you doing for them?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is where I want to give back to the community, because the community helped me a lot. At first, we started doing like a grant, and I was organizing training camp, bringing like young athletes and professional training camps and everything. And a couple of years ago, I was in a school. We were helping with the sports facility,
I see. Yes.
To renew and everything. And I remember the director told us, well, Bruny, it's great what you're doing. This is amazing. But do you know there are emergencies even more important than this? And I was like, okay, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he said, well, there's student right now who's coming like every morning, like they don't have an opportunity to have breakfast.
Totally.
And there's a lot of new people from other countries, like immigrants, in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood I was.
Yeah.
And like it's difficult coming to the winter time. They don't have proper winter jacket and everything, and the books, scholar books and everything. And I was like, oh my god. Till today we are in that. And I said, to me, it's like help a little bit. That's my way to say, well, I'm doing my part. And the community. And I've been having my foundation now for like 23 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that's congrats. That's amazing.
Thank you. And I give a lot of my time also.
Yeah.
It's not just like, okay, well, we raise some money, heal the money, blah, blah, blah. I put a lot of time on the field. I still visit a lot of schools and everything. Recently, I was on, last year, I was at an event. Not even my foundation, another event for young students.
Sure.
And they're like, well, Bruny, would you put a price like people can, like the business people can bid, and you offer to have a dinner with the company? And I'm like, and my schedule was already like this.
Totally.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, for the good cause, let's go. And now I'm going to that event. I'm there physically.
Yeah.
And now the bid start and everything. Okay, well, 5,000, 6,000, wow. And now there's two groups now fighting. And now, guess what? The organizer came to me and said, Bruny, would you accept instead of have one dinner, so we can have two dinners, so they pay 7,000 each?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, do it.
Amazing.
And I remember I was talking to a friend, the next day, and he's like, why are you doing this, Bruny? And I'm like, why am I doing this? To me, it's like, okay, it's going to be 2 nights. I'm going to spend like 3 hours, whatever, with them having to. But the difference that money can do with the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I'm doing it.
Totally. Incredible.
Yeah.
That is such an incredible cause, and I think that's something that we can all get behind. So congratulations on that. That's really incredible.
Thank you.
It's interesting because you mentioned, you do these events and things, right? And one of the things I found really interesting about you is that these events seem to kind of like really tell a story of who you are, because you've always said things that, you're a dad first, right? And you have a wonderful team around you, and you include your family because your wife was your agent, right?
Yeah.
And you've talked about your mom being such a wonderful support already several times, So tell us about this balance that you've been able to strike, because that is something I think that at least a lot of people, definitely in orthopedics, and I'm sure in people in your world, struggle with a lot.
Yeah, it's very important for me to try always to have this balance. Yeah. Because to me, it was never only about athletics.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, yes, there's athletics, very important. My family is very important also, even more important than the career and everything. And then to me, it was my balance. Yeah. When I go to war, I'm saying that all the time. My wife encouraged me and everything. I go, I'm there at 100%. Yeah. So I make sure with everything I put in the sports and everything, my focus and everything. So once I come home, that's the time I'm like, okay, Now this is the husband.
Yeah.
This is the dad.
Yeah.
I try to make that. And even when I was competing offshore, and after 3 weeks, 1 month, when I wasn't happy because I missed them so much.
Right. Yeah.
And I said to my manager, to my agent, I need to go back home.
Nice. Yeah.
And he was like, well, listen, there's this competition, this competition, this money you're gonna get, this money you're gonna get.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, money is good, but now I need to go see my family.
Yeah.
At first, he couldn't believe it, but I was serious.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me a lot create that that balance. It wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's like all the time I'm saying to myself, and I told them that they are my reason of succeed, because I didn't succeed. I didn't do that by myself.
Yeah.
My team.
Yeah.
They are the reason for that.
You mentioned that when you go to war, you're in it, right? But when you're at your home with your family, you're in that moment.
Yeah.
How do you maintain all that mindfulness? Because that is something that especially surgeons can struggle with, because number one, they're either distracted in the operating room, by something else that's happening, or when they go home, they let that work life seep in a little bit.
That's something that I think a lot of time in any different field or subject, whatever, visualization, and you can call it like meditation, can help you a lot. Saying that my first coach gave me a quote, and I'm still using today. The quote is, "The me I see is the me I'll be."
Amazing.
And I make sure that I write a lot, saying, okay, well, this is how I see this. This is what I need to do. Work on my mindset, saying that when I'm in practice, I'm in practice.
Yeah.
Like, example, when I'm doing a conference, I'm 100% there.
Totally.
But in fact, sometimes I can go to a conference, whatever, something can go bad at home, at the office, and everything. But the thing is, like, to me, for the respect of, let's call it the client, or the people that I'm going to see, I cannot bring my problem to them.
Totally.
Body language count a lot. I mean, sometimes if I'm not there 100%, they're going to see that.
Absolutely.
So, whatever the problem, whatever the thing it was, I'm not saying that it's easy.
Yeah.
Saying that, well, this is what I need to do now. I'm going to block that.
Yeah.
I'm going to visualize that. I'm going to be with them 100%, and I'm going to prepare. Boom, I'm there. Once I'm finished, after, now I can go back and say, okay, well, this is the problem. This is how we're going to solve it and everything. Because that happened to me once.
Yeah.
That the mistake I did at the office, something was going wrong. And first mistake, before going to conference, I was still reading the emails. I'm like,
right.
I'm mad.
Yes.
And I brought that to the conference.
Right.
And I remember I was just talking to the client, to the people and everything. And at some point, there was like 3-4 seconds. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what am I talking about?
Yeah.
And at that time I said I would never let that happen to me again anymore.
Yeah.
It's all a question of mindset.
Yeah.
It's that's it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I said, people say, well, yeah, but you're brilliant. Not everybody is strong like you. Not everybody. Hey, listen. Do you want it? If you really want it, yes, you can. Yes, it's not a question of Bruny is strong, whatever.
Yeah.
To me, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
You just need to put your mind into it.
Totally.
That's it.
And so these are things to that point that can be learned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I make sure that, I do a lot of conferences.
Yeah.
All the time. And people come and talk to me and everything. And sometimes people send me emails after that. I try to answer as much as I can. And I encourage people.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, yeah, Bruny, how you became this Superman. I'm not Superman. I have problems just like you.
That's reassuring.
I'm not Superman.
Yeah.
But I deal with it.
Yeah.
I deal with it. I go get help. People. I'm not better than anybody.
Totally.
That's it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so interesting. We've spoken a lot about your accolades and all your successes and all things, but and I bring this up just to make a point, but within all the successes too, there's always defeat, right? I think the Olympics before Atlanta, you finished 4th in the 100-meter sprint, right? And then, other times, like for example, like the Olympics afterwards, you guys are favorite, but then you had injury, right? So then, how do you manage those feelings of defeat when really, like for track and field and for the Olympics, the next iteration is 4 years away? So how do you manage those emotions, and how do you get motivated to get back on track and to get to that elite level again?
Yeah. Like I said, I always write. I write a lot.
Amazing. Okay.
Like, my goal, this is my goal, this is what I want, this is where I want to see myself, this is what I want to do this year, 2025 example, boom, 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 boom. I try to visualize it and everything. And sometimes also I learned and I practice it. When things doesn't go your way, let's say that you were expecting a gold medal, poof, it didn't happen. Oh, it's hurt, blah, blah, blah. Why this and that? Why it didn't happen?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about that situation as soon as possible?
Yeah.
There's only 2 things. There's no 10. There's no 10 theory. There's 2. Why? What you gonna do? My worst result nightmare ever was also Atlanta and the 100 meters.
Right.
I was ranked 2nd in the world.
Right.
And didn't make the final.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
For a lot of people say, oh yeah, Bruny choked. Oh, blah, 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 whatever. I was in that situation. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening to me? I'm looking at the final, seeing my teammates winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
And I was a spectator.
Yeah.
This is crazy, man.
That is crazy. Yeah.
My head was like this. I see black, I see stars. I'm like, oh my God,
gosh.
this is.
Yeah.
I went to say to myself, God doesn't exist.
Wow. Oh man.
I said it. I said, my man, God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
He would never do that to me.
Yeah. Right.
I don't do no harm for nobody. I
right.
don't wish bad things. I'm doing my thing. I don't cheat, and this is what happened to me. And then I go back home and watch the race over and over again. And now something hits me, Bruny, why? And in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh my God. Why did you want that, Bruny? Why, when you were going and practice and training, a lot of time you didn't have the fire in you?
Interesting.
I didn't like it. Okay, I wanted it for my family, for my friends,
interesting,
for the country,
wow,
for my sponsors.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't there.
But it wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I realized that. Then I'm like, oh my God, this is why. This is why. Now, what are you going to do about it as soon as possible?
Yeah.
Change your mindset. Okay, from now on, I'm doing it for me.
Yeah, crazy.
And have a smile.
That's incredible.
In a couple of hours, I was at the pool. Life is great. I swear. People come and say, Bruny, what the hell?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh, man.
Not even 24 hours? You're telling that life is beautiful?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went through that. So that's why today I'm like, nothing bothering me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to get through it. One thing that I'm scared. Death.
Oh, really?
If something happened to my family.
I see. Okay.
I see my daughters, I see my wife, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't know. It's my only thing.
I hear you.
But besides that, bring it on.
It's so interesting you say that because I heard another F1, so elite athlete, and it was another racer talking about Fernando Alonso, right? And he overtook him in this crazy turn, and then afterwards they asked the guy who was young, no family, and he said, "How did you know that he was good, Fernando Alonso, world champion? How did you know he was going to break, and how did you know you can make that crazy turn?" And he said, "Well, you know what? Fernando Alonso, he's married, he's got kids, he's got something to lose now. I knew he was going to break." It was like crazy. So I hear you what you're saying. Family and everything, it changes everything, right? So, I mean, that is and So how do you manage that on a daily basis? And how do you manage so it's not, sorry, just to get it correct, it's not about legacy, it's not about you, it's about your family.
No, it's about the family. It's about like something like, this is to me, it's like the summum.
Yeah.
It's like losing that would be like devastating.
Yeah. Well, it just reflects, I think, who you are as a person. Right?
I know that probably there's therapy. I don't know if I'm just saying. Maybe I need therapy. You see,
you're a psychologist.
I'm not I'm not Superman. You see, I'm not Superman.
No,
I'm like everybody.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I have things that I'm fear. Yeah. Also. So.
Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable. That's actually really reassuring for people to hear. I think for me to hear also, right? So that's pretty cool. One maybe final question, or I've always wanted to know. One of my dreams was always wearing the maple leaf and the red and white for the country, and obviously not getting the opportunity. But you mentioned that in the Atlanta Olympics, you were doing it for the country, for everybody else.
Yeah.
Tell me about that pressure of performing for your country and all kind of everyone's hopes and dreams riding on you.
Yeah. This year I was chef de mission, 2024, actually for Team Canada, and I made sure, on couple of occasions, I told the athletes, wearing that Canada jacket, it's a proud moment. I mean, you represent yourself first, yes. You represent the country, but always make sure that you're doing it for yourself.
Nice.
Never forget the fun part.
Yeah.
If you don't have fun, try to find the way to find that section, the fun part.
Yeah.
Yes, there's pressure.
Yeah.
There's pressure, there's indirect pressure, there's direct pressure sometimes from the family, from the friends, from the media, from your community and everything. One thing that I hate to hear when I was an athlete, going to an event, going to the Olympic, sometimes you see fun. And it's not that they want to put pressure on it, they just want to encourage you. Mm-hmm. Hey, Bruny, bring us a medal.
I see, yes.
I'm like, can you...
Just adding to it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, do you realize what you just asked me to bring?
The best.
Just bring the medal? I'm like, it's like going to a shop and go buy something.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But from my experience, knowing the pressure part and everything, so that's why I told the athletes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be pressure, but don't add up. Don't add the pressure. Go there. Have fun, do your best.
Amazing.
And one thing also, talking about the cheat part also, don't go overboard because you have this also. Because if you cheat, something happen, it's not only your name, it's the whole country.
You got it.
So you have to be careful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. Bruny, thank you so much for this wonderful chat of all these things about leadership that we learned from you. I mean, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add and you'd like to tell everybody that maybe you have going on?
Well, I'd like to add, a lot of time people telling me that if you run 100 meters today, what time?
Yeah, totally. What
time you would you? I say, but first of all, I wouldn't run 100 meters because I would have a risk for my hamstring.
Yeah, that's right.
But one thing that's very important, and it's the mission also for my foundation. Yeah. It's always said to people, yes, you have your dream, your goals, and any feel about it. But one thing I always said, no health, no wealth.
Yeah.
So you need to take care of your health. Mm-hmm. I mean, today I'm going to the gym and everything. Yes, today I have osteoarthritis.
Yes.
And of course, I have a great product for that.
Yes, that's right.
I send this one time a year and everything.
Perfect.
So all that to say that I have my surrounding. Yeah. And because of that, I'm still active. Yeah. And life is good. Life is great.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, thank you to Sanofi for sponsoring this episode for Canadian Orthopaedic Care Day. No health, no wealth.
No wealth. That's it. Thank you.
And also, this is before that. And also, let's just talk about the fact that you and Donovan Bailey both have 9.84s.
Yes.
But you have less than half of the wind advantage that he did.
He said it, not me.
Fastest man in Canada. Oh, amazing. That's awesome. Thanks, man. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Good. That's awesome.